Jina, Huh-Yoo, and this is my co-author Emilee Rader. Researchers who create new digital technologies and study their impacts are experiencing a critical struggle to make sense of the societal impact these technologies can bring, both positively and negatively. Despite early calls for protection of data, suggested guidelines on fairness in machine learning algorithms, and increased data breach reports, there are no clear, coherent guidelines, laws, or regulations in the US for what concrete harms digital technology can cause and the consequences of those harms. Additionally, interconnected influences and power dynamics in business, politics, and the tech industry all contribute to the lack of clarity and transparency in regulating digital data privacy and ethics. There are over 1,000 laws, regulations, and guidelines that govern human subjects research in 131 countries. The US is one of the few countries that enforces regulations by an entity called institutional review boards regarding the protection of human subjects, while other countries provide guidance only. IRB regulates research being conducted based on several federally regulated rules, including the new Common Rule. This rule, however, has mostly been optimized for traditional biomedical and behavioral research. Accordingly, for the kinds of research that are not following traditional forms and rules of research, like what we do a lot within CHI and CSCW communities, we face new kinds of data and problems that come with studying and designing digital technology. To seek solutions to these challenges, we conducted semi-structured interviews with the IRB members in the United States. We asked about their experiences assessing risks and benefits of research that use digital technology collecting human behavior. We also presented a hypothetical scenario of testing the usability of Amazon Alexa, an off-the-shelf smart home device with children, and asked them to think aloud in terms of what risks they might envision and how they would like researchers to address them. So what do we find? During the interview, IRB members unpacked their beliefs about what they perceive digital data to be. This activity led to discovering their broad and open-ended definitions of digital data and what it means to regulate digital research given its risks. To the IRB members, being digital meant increased likelihood of data breaches, unintended collection of sensitive information, re-identification, and unauthorized data reuse. Uncertainty in assessing risks of digital data intensify with their lack of understanding of digital technology and not being able to pinpoint concrete harms. This uncertainty then further triggered the IRB members to perceive digital data to be more risky than non-digital data. What was also interesting was the way that IRB members assess risks. They connected various characterizations of digital data to perceive risks and harms. They looked at what kinds of data types there were, what analysis methods researchers use, and how researchers handle data to assess how risky the research can be. Accordingly, risk assessment of a research study using digital technology was not just about the data type that was used, but it was about the data collection, analysis, and maintenance processes that are involved in dealing with data coming from digital technology. IRB members then linked these digital data characteristics with the risks and expressed that these risks were then associated with psychological and social harm, economic harm, harm from loss of autonomy, and legal harm. Each stakeholder involved in digital technology research has a different priority and focus in approaching digital data, whether it is about maintaining liability of the institution, protecting human subjects from harm, being first to market, growing a successful business, etc. The initiating actor, the researcher, as the one designing and conducting the research, bears an ethical duty to help the stakeholders gain a holistic understanding of the giant elephant, within the guidance of the rules and regulations governing human subjects research. Researchers should find novel ways to brainstorm these harms with broader perspectives about how things can go wrong, taking into account the detailed mechanisms by which technology transmits and stores data and the terms of use of any commercial technologies that are incorporated into the research. Our study further revealed the ambiguous, uncertain characteristics of regulating digital research. This finding gave insights to how researchers can reflect on their own data practices and what regulatory enforcement policies can be made to aid effective protection of individuals from harm. Our study is timely and presents concrete future steps in shaping the wild, wild west of digital data. Thank you.